Silent money traps unknowingly contribute to stress in our lives, and they can create a loop or a cycle in our life that can defer our purpose and diminish fulfillment. According to Duke University, 8 out of 10 Americans experience stress due to money concerns. The 20% understand that these money traps play a role in that stress. And you may say, how can money do all of this? Well, I'm about to tell you what these 6 money traps so that you can escape them or avoid them. Number 1. Have you ever tried to accomplish a task but you just keep getting distracted? The distractions are not from your neighbor playing loud music or someone distracting you. Instead, it's something that you desire. It's something that you need. And that thing that you desire is on your mind more often than it should. Believe it or not, this is called a lack mindset. And you're probably like, I don't have a lack mindset. I said the same thing about myself. Check me out a little bit later on in this video and you'll hear my example. A lack mindset is when we think about the lack of something like a relationship or money, and it prohibits us from focusing on the things that will get us out of that undesired space. And you may say, look, I don't think about the lack of money. But the thing is that it can be such a habit that we don't even notice it. It can be something as simple as what I did, like paying the minimum balance on my student loan debt instead of coming up with a plan to pay it off more quickly instead of accruing more and more debt through interest. Ultimately, I ended up paying them an extra $14,000 in interest simply because I didn't come up with a plan and instead I just paid the minimum balance for years. I would say things like, I'm never paying those off, don't even worry about it, like I'm just gonna have my student loan debt for years and years and years. Until I kept seeing that interest accrue. That interest wasn't going anywhere, it kept going up. So I wasn't winning that game of not paying it off or paying the minimum balance. It's not something that you do on purpose. It can be in the background, but it can cost us. See, the issue with the lack mindset is that it causes us to focus on the lack, and our brains can only hold but so much information. When it's holding these background thoughts, there's no space for you to come up with a plan. These decisions can set us back or keep us in a loop. It could be quickly deciding to go back to an ex when you know what Maya Angelou said. Believe them the first time. I'm joking, kind of, but your brain doesn't have enough space to plan things, and you make more mistakes related to money and non-related to money that not only impact your funds even more, but can also keep you in a loop. Once I planned to pay off my student loans, I executed the plan and I was able to pay off $56,000 in a short period of time. Free up that lack space in your mind by creating a plan and working your plan, and you'll be so happy you did. Now, many people desire success in particular areas of their lives, but have struggled to get there. That's where understanding this next mistake can help a great deal. 40 years of Stanford research identified that people that have this one quality are more likely to succeed. It all started with Professor Walter. He and his team came up with this experiment by testing hundreds of children around the ages of 4 and 5 years old, which revealed this key quality for success not just with money, but in health, work, and life. Professor Walter brought each child into a private room. He sat him down in a chair, and then he placed a marshmallow on top of the table in front of them. Then the professor offered a deal to the child. He told the child that he was going to leave the room, and if the child didn't eat the marshmallow while he was gone, that they would get a reward of a second marshmallow. But if the child decided to eat the first one before the professor came back, then they wouldn't get a second marshmallow. So the deal was eat 1 marshmallow now or eat 2 marshmallows later. As you can imagine, the video footage was hilarious of these children waiting alone in a room with 1 marshmallow. Some kids ate the marshmallow as soon as the professor closed the door. Others moved around and fidgeted in their chairs to try to keep their mind off of it, but ultimately gave into temptation. And finally, a few children were able to wait the whole time for the second marshmallow. The study became so popular that it's known as the marshmallow experiment. It was a testament to the one quality for success in health, work, and life, and that is delayed gratification. And the study wasn't just interesting because the kids got an extra marshmallow, but the interesting part of this study came years later. The children who were able to delay gratification for the second marshmallow ended up having higher test scores, lower levels of substance abuse, better stress management, and overall better social skills. They followed these children for 40 years, and they found that the group that waited succeeded in each area they were measuring. Now, we know that discipline is needed for success, and delaying things is a part of that. Delaying is not saying you can't have, it's just delaying. It's like if you delay the gratification, not saying not have it, but just delay the gratification of watching a TV show and instead you read a book, you will get smarter. Or if you delay the gratification of being with that man or that woman and instead wait on your person, you will receive the reward of true companionship and someone that you can share your life with that is aligned with you. Now, some of you may be saying, well, that marshmallow experiment wasn't fair. They were like 4 and 5 years old. Well, I would say it was directionally right. Later on, the experiment was replicated and it found that when children are growing up in a reliable environment and can trust the word of adults, they can more easily delay gratification. Those that grew up in an environment that wasn't reliable couldn't trust that the second marshmallow was coming, so they grabbed the first one because that second one wasn't a guarantee. Still, I mentioned that the marshmallow experiment is directionally right. And one cannot deny that if you want to succeed in something, it will require discipline and some delayed gratification. Now, you'll really want to pay attention to this next one because it happens when you think you're good. Have you heard of golden handcuffs? Well, this next one has to do with Punxsutawney Phil and a weatherman. Yes, a movie I really enjoy watching and crack up every time I watch it. Groundhog's Day. Yes, that is a classic. Yes, it is. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. So, the main character has a job. He's a weatherman. His life is very predictable and comfortable. Well, actually, it's too comfortable because life gets so predictable that he gets caught up in this loop where he wakes up on the same day in the same place, and it just so happens to be February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. He was in his comfort zone, and in his comfort zone, he wasn't inspired by much. In fact, he was rather cynical and lacked compassion. He repeats the days doing the same things until he has a breakthrough. He realizes something so simple that the best thing he can do in his life is learn a new skill and help other people. In the end, he gains compassion, wisdom, and purpose. Just like the main character in the film, our comfort zone can trap us with these golden handcuffs. We think we're in a good spot, but really we are limiting ourselves through our comfort zones, holding ourselves back from growth and the wonderful things that life has to offer on the other side. Once we break free from our comfort zones by trying something new or speaking up when we normally wouldn't, learning a new hobby or skill, we open ourselves up to so much more in life. Now, for this next one, have you ever desired to win the lottery? What would you do with the money? Well, according to the National Endowment of Financial Education, 70% of lottery winners end up going bankrupt just after a few years. And this all has to do with the temporary bliss of not tracking your money, which is money trap number 4. When you track your money, you see, dang, I'm spending $150 on subscriptions. I'm spending $300 on eating out. We've all likely been guilty of not tracking, but oh, how things change when you tell your money where to go by tracking. You can align your spending with your goals, and not only does this allow you to pay down debt, but you make smarter decisions overall financially, which leads to a better future. You can save for that trip and get to experience the beauty of a new place. Tracking your money allows you to make progress as the years pass and live those years with intention while securing your future. Now, in terms of this 5th one, it has hit many people, including myself, at some point in our lives. In mine, I would sometimes compare myself to my friends in the relationship department. Although I am very happy for my friends, I would sometimes think, dang God, all of my friends are married and having children, and I have yet to find my person. When I would go down that road, it would diminish my hope. I would have to bring myself out of that mindset and remind myself that all things happen for me at the right time according to God's will for my life. Oftentimes, comparison can show up in how people spend money. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but the rapper T-Pain did an interview talking about how he became mega rich and then lost it all. In his case, he did gain some of it back, but he explained that he once had $40 million in the bank cash. but made unwise money decisions like buying a Bugatti and returning it 5 months later for $400,000 less than what he paid. He admitted that he was chasing money and didn't have the right priorities. It's not just celebs that get caught up in spending money mainly for other people, trying to keep up with what others are doing, but many fall victim to this, whether they feel like they have to say yes to every vacation, purchase a new car when the one they have works fine and is paid off. If I have to keep this car a little bit longer to achieve some of my financial goals, I'm not worried about people getting new cars because mine works great and it's paid off. I'll get my new one in due time, but I'm not rushing to get one just to keep up with everybody else. As long as you're making decisions for you, that's what matters. Go on that vacation, get that new car, and even glow up your wardrobe. Just do those things because that's what you want to do and not because you are comparing yourself to others. Now for this next one, there are two people, and I want you to give me your opinion after you hear the profile of each. Felicia drives an hour and a half Monday through Friday into work. She makes $60,000 a year. On some Saturdays, Felicia spends 8 hours working a second job to earn more money. She also cuts her own grass when she's not working on Saturdays. There's an opportunity for a new promotion at work, but Felicia doesn't have the time to take the small class to give her the skill sets needed for the promotion. She's drained from working and barely wants to network and build relationships that can help her get the promotion. Then you have Sabrina. Sabrina works a hybrid job working 2 days from home. She also gets paid $60,000 a year. She enjoys cooking, so on some Saturdays, she works on creating a digital asset that can scale, an e-cookbook that eventually earns her an additional $10,000 in a year. On other Saturdays, she spends time with family and has time to herself. Sabrina outsources work that takes up time that she doesn't want to do, so she has a landscaper mow her grass. She also pays to get her laundry washed and folded from time to time. This frees Sabrina up and she has much more energy. At work, she builds relationships and connects with others. When the promotion came up, due to Sabrina's time flexibility, she was able to spend a little bit of time to boost her skills. Due to the relationships she built and her improved skills, Sabrina got the promotion and she went from making $60,000 a year to $70,000 a year, plus the additional $10,000 from the ebook that she created. So my question to you is, which girl is trading time for money? It's Felicia, working the extra job on Saturdays to earn more money instead of spending that time to work on something that can grow her even more money in the future. Moral of the story, time is more valuable than money. So take a note from Sabrina and stop trading time for money. And with that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.